Hi, this is Sean with TriState Water Works. I want to talk to you a little bit about two-wire system. So if you're a property manager or you have a commercial site or a really large residential property, an estate type of property, you may have heard of two-wire. If you're a regular homeowner with the typical system, you probably have never heard of these terms before. So what does it mean and where does it come into play? Well, a conventional irrigation system uses what they call multi-strand wire, but there are multiple strands in that bundle. And so each one of those wires would control a different zone in your yard. So a two-wire system only uses two wires. Here was what we originally used. It's a much thicker wire, but there's only two wires. And so the electrical current goes down this to turn on your valves, plus a digital signal. So how that works is that the valve, you have something called a decoder. And a decoder takes the message that's being sent down that two-wire path. And if the controller sends out a code, says, all right, zone 2 comes on, this decoder reads that signal and turns on that valve, but none of the other valves. So you can control 200, 400 valves with just a two-wire wire path. So what is the benefit of this? Well, on really large properties, wire can get very expensive. So a cable like this, just think if you had 200 wires, how much cable you'd have to have in the ground. And that cost gets very expensive because of this is copper wire, it's shielded, it's protected from being buried, so it's not inexpensive wire. Not that this is any less expensive per foot, but instead of having to put in 13 or 14 of these cables, I can put in one of these versus a whole bunch of these. So it can save money on the installation costs. The other beauty is too, with the two-wire system, if you want to expand your system, you don't have to worry about having enough wire in the ground. All you can do is tap into this wire and run two wires off to your new valve, and you can operate the valve. With the newer systems, they've even got it so it's less expensive. Now you can run two small wires like this up to 1,000 feet and operate a system. So the pricing on these systems are coming down. You know, as technology gets cheaper and cheaper each year. So I am seeing more of these in smaller residential properties with 15, 20 zones, whereas in the past you wouldn't even think of doing a two-wire system. At least you had 40 zones or more. It just wasn't economical. The older systems can be rather problematic, and we have to do a lot of repairs on them. The new system is an AC system, so they switch from DC current to AC, and it's much solider and it works very well. So if you have an old system and you feel like it's just breaking your budget all the time, we could upgrade that to the new two-wire system with the AC decoders. It's Hunter makes one called the Easy Decoder, and it works very well. We've been using it for about 3 years now with very few problems. So like I say, if you're a property manager and you don't know what's going on with your system and they keep saying two-wire, hopefully now you know a little bit better about what they're trying to tell you and what system you've got.